What is going on? We are back with another show for you guys. I am your host, Dave, a 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. Man, I got a full show for you guys lined up today. We have a ton to talk about. We're going to talk about the buy it now. That kind of pitch of the week, in my opinion. Give them a little love. We're going to be talking about a gentleman who created the post box, got a patent on the post box that does some pretty cool things. So we'll talk about that. We do have Mr. Beast. We all know famous YouTuber Mr. Beast. Well, it look like Spalding. I got a prop, man. I got I think a Spalding basketball. Maybe it's Wilson, but Spalding has sued Mr. Beast for trademark infringement. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we will talk about it was a Tesla Cybertruck hoax, potential hoax over the weekend. That video got a lot of views, a lot of comments as well. So we'll kind of quickly hit on that. Then we'll talk about not one, but two IP infringements of the week. We'll break them down. They're short, so we'll go through them really quickly. One regarding a daycare, and the other was regarding two universities clashing. Baylor University down in Texas and Boston University, obviously in Massachusetts, kind of going back and forth for trademark infringement on the BU lock. So we do have that, and then we'll get to the interview of the week as well. Hydra Lamp, shout out to Daniel Victor on that, man. That's pretty cool. So it's a lot to get off into. Please let me know to the extent that you're in here. Hey, just show your boy some love, man. Let me know your name and I guess what you're looking forward to the most given this. So I do want to kind of shout out a couple different things before we kind of get started with things. Number one, the shirts. Peace, love, intellectual property. Go check that out. That link, I'm not sure if Brandon is in here, but I'm pretty sure once he gets in, he can post that link to the website on or in the comment section so that we can so that you guys can kind of find that pretty easy. The link, peace, love, intellectual property. Definitely you'll want to get these shirts. I would just stop. Where was I at, man? Every time I wear this shirt, I get stopped. I was somewhere when I got stopped. Man, I get stopped every day, and I'll be doing a lot of different things. Where was I when I got stopped the last time I wore this? It was like a couple days ago. I was in a gym, I think, and a gentleman had stopped me and kind of asked me what. I think, no, matter of fact, this was I was getting something to eat. I had on the Peace, Love, Intellectual Property shirt, and it was a black guy. It was a lunch spot, and he was actually a patent attorney too. Little older guy, black guy, which is rare. You don't see too many black attorneys, much less black patent attorneys. So that was cool. We exchanged information. So we will kind of stay in contact. So again, the shirts are going to get you noticed. So definitely go check out that. That's pretty interesting. So a lot of different things to cover. We are going to start with Buy It Now. Now, for those of you who don't know, Buy It Now is Amazon's. And I actually interviewed 3 contestants on Buy It Now this past week. So your boy been working. I interviewed Caitlin with Looky Lou on Monday. The Spice King Keep Lauren with spice. He has some spices, a brand of spices. He is known as the Spice King, which he has a trademark term on. I interviewed him on Wednesday. Then on Friday, I interviewed, who did I interview? Your boy Paul Burns, who actually sent me, he found a mixtape. He actually sent me one of these things, and I'm going to talk about that. I actually did a unveiling video, so go check out that. It's essentially, it doubles as an MP3 player as well as a tape. I know, look, your boy was born in 90, but my era was really like the CDs. But I did get a kind of whiff of the cassette tape era where you kind of put the tape in the in the cassette player and you was able to kind of play your favorite tunes. Well, this can do that. So you can put over 2,000 songs on this thing, put it in the cassette tape player. It plays that way. But then it also has a headphone jack. I'm not sure if you guys see that, where you can put, this thing actually came with some headphones, man, which is pretty cool. You can put them in a headphone jack and listen to it that way as well. It has a screen on this thing. Again, go check out the unveil video. I talk all about it, but it has a screen on this thing, which you can kind of flip through songs as well as albums. So it's a pretty cool thing. Shouts out to Paul Burns for that. That's a cool thing about this job, man. You do it and you interview these people on a week-to-week out basis, and sometimes they give you some free stuff. So I'm kind of thankful for Paul Burns over there at Mixtape for gifting me this cassette tape, which is, like I said, doubles as an MP3 player as well as a cassette tape. So with that being said, I want to pull up the interview of this week. It was a number of great pitches this week. And for those of you who don't know, this show is similar to like Shark Tank, but it's different. I know on Shark Tank, you look to get a deal with one of the sharks. Well, this one has a panel member, but it also has a live audience. So you will pitch to a live audience of 100 members. And if you get 10 out of 100 greens, which saying that they'll buy the product. You go to the panel member of 3, and if you get 2 out of those 3 panel members saying that they like your product, then you go into Amazon's exclusive Buy It Now store. So again, all of the pitches were phenomenal. It was one pitch that stood out to me, and it was your boy Shot. Now I'm gonna play a video. The family, and just last year in 2024 they made over $3 million with their prank golf ball. So again, shouts out to I think his name was Brett. So we're going to pull up the video so you guys can see what it is that he's created, and then again, I would love to hear from what you guys think about this thing in the comments. So definitely let me know what you guys think. So these are some, it's not as loud on the video, but you can still see people flinch because they're not, again, it's a prank. So they're not thinking that it's a golf ball that's going to make a loud noise, but it actually makes a pretty loud noise, causing other people to jump. So let's go. You see the people jump in the background? So again, it's a prank golf ball. I think they come in a set of sleeves of 3. And this thing got like 8 million views on TikTok. What y'all think? I'm not sure we have any golfers that's watching, but if somebody kind of pranked y'all, black people, man, we don't like to get pranked, man. I don't like to throw the race card out, but that's, man, you know, that's a little bit more of a white person thing. We be ready to fight. You try to prank us. Let me see if I can go to another one. Tiger Hood's over there. Here go a couple more. You can see people like flinching in the background. I'm not sure. Let me know if y'all can hear the sound on it. Y'all hear that? See my man laughing. I'm telling y'all, man, pranking is a white people thing. You're not gonna see any black people in the video.
That's a good shot.
What Brandon say?
So much.
Tiger Hood's over there. You ain't gonna see no black people in this in these videos.
God. What the?
So that's pretty much it, man. I thought that was a phenomenal product. I thought that was one that caught my eye. Like I said, it's a family business, so he's he owns it. The guy Brett, he owns it. I think his grandfather kind of started the business with the golf balls. Then his father and his uncles and siblings and things like that. But the thing that caught my eye is, again, you would think, okay, so with a prank golf ball, man, this guy is doing $3 million a year. As I adjust my camera here, just last year he did $3 million a year in sales. So again, the whole part of kind of the channel, these lives, my breakdowns, my interviews, is try to push you guys into do entrepreneurship. And again, regardless of whether you got a prank product or whether you got a product that serves everyday purpose, you can make money. So again, shouts out to Brett over there at Shot Golf Ball. They are protecting the name via a trademark. So shouts out to them. Shouts to Buy It Now. And it seems like your boy, man, I'm gonna have to call Amazon because it seems like I'm doing more promotion for the show Buy It Now than Amazon is, apparently, from talking to the business owner. So we have to kind of see if Amazon can break your boy off. But go check out that reaction video that I did on Shot Golf Balls. And I'm gonna try to have to reach out to Brett to see if I can get him on the platform to talk about his golf balls as we move on to the interview of the week. So let's get to the interview of the week, which was a good one. And this is another product from Buy It Now. So this is Daniel. This is Daniel. I'm not sure if I caught the last one, Daniel, but this is Daniel. And he essentially created a lamp that dispenses water. So that interview just came out this week. Definitely go check out that interview, the full interview. But I'm going to pull up a little bit and play a little bit for you guys so that we can see what it is that he's created. And again, let me know your comments in the comment section. Let's go. This is Daniel from Hydra Lamp. Let's go.
Kickstarter was just another good way for us to really test out the market. You know, we knew that we'd be able to get some funding, if not all the funding, for first round of manufacturing. And the more support we got from the space of Kickstarter, the more likely we'd be able to like validate that we had something. And that was proven because in our, we did a little bit of marketing for our campaign. And at first with Hydra Lamp, we just thought it was the convenience aspects of having that dispenser. We didn't really realize how important the refrigeration unit would be towards our sales. So we had that as like an add-on, and we just had these soft water reservoirs, these like room temperature ones that would store your water. And we quickly realized how important through our Kickstarter the refrigeration unit was to people, and that ended up being a great call from us to go on Kickstarter because we got to learn that and numerous other things of what the customer wants from that campaign.
To Daniel, like I said, go check out that video as I bring it back on myself. And again, one of the things that he did say that I want to kind of hammer off on this Kickstarter. Now, some people do Kickstarters, actually Paul with mixtape. He actually did a couple Kickstarters. One campaign was successful, one was not. Kickstarter is a good way to do a few things. Number one, as Daniel talked about, Kickstarter is essentially, for those of you who don't know, is a platform where you can raise money. Now, some of the biggest startup costs that you're going to see with your product is paying for your mold, as well as manufacturing that first run of inventory. And Kickstarter is a good way to be able to raise money so that you can get that mold made, as well as get that first run of inventory made or produced as well. And another thing that Daniel talked about in his interview was the feedback that you get. Again, when you're doing these Kickstarter campaigns, the people who are essentially saying that pre-buying it, they are giving you feedback as well, asking questions, and you can get those questions answered. And it's a lot of way to get kind of intel for you to be able to continue to do some iterations on your product. He talked about, Daniel, that, hey, their initial Hydra Lamp, it was just going to dispense temperature, water at room temperature. But it seems like through the Kickstarter campaign, they decided to do more so refrigeration to kind of dispense cold water. So again, that seems like that's some intel that they got from the Kickstarter campaign. So again, man, I'm really trying to have you guys provide a ton of information from not only these lawsuits, but from current events, from inventors who actually have started a business, so that you too can kind of start that business and, have a product or have a service that you're providing to the people. And I thought what Daniel was talking about with regards to Kickstarter campaign was, pretty interesting. And it was some good information. So I did want to share that with you. So let me know what you guys think about that. I guess I do want to say, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. I saw Brandon in here. Hey, Brandon, if you can put the link to my website, so to the extent that somebody wants to go purchase a shirt, they can. Like I said, I get stopped all the time in these things. And I tell them, hey, I'm an IP attorney. People reach out to me because they kind of ran into me and say, hey, they got a brand that they want to protect or an invention that they want to protect. It's some big news I got coming out this week on an award and a recognition I got for being one of the best patent attorneys in the country, or the up and coming ones. So stay tuned for that because that's going to drop sometime this week as well. But please hit that like button as well, as and to the extent that you are not part of the IP community, please hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. So I do want to kind of move on before we get off into the BS or the lawsuits of the week. I do want to talk about a man who created a smart mailbox. What they say, you can never let a crisis go to waste. It seems like, I'm in a good neighborhood. Your boy thankfully is in a good neighborhood. So I don't have to worry about the YNs taking packages, so forth and so on. But it seems like a black man down in Texas has created what he's deeming as the smart mailbox, or to combat people stealing packages, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to let him, as well as this news article down in Texas, explain the product. Then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it, and kind of we'll go from there. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section as well as I pour this up. Let's go. Make sure it's on normal speed. Yep. Let's go.
And has created what he calls the world's first smart mailbox.
World's first.
Fox 4 Sean Rabb says this is going to hold much more than just your letters. Fox 4 Sean Rabb joins us with that story. Sean.
Yeah, good evening to you, Clarice. Richard Prince II survived 2 heart attacks. After that, he tried to figure out a new way to make money for his family. He thought about bundling different types of devices made with smart technology and selling those, but then he had an epiphany. There's no smart technology to protect the packages that arrive at your home. So he created what he calls a smart mailbox. Not only will it hold your parcels, he says it will protect your packages.
Now, and I do want to stop it, man. Like I said, I stay in a pretty good area, so I don't have to worry about that. But Are people still in packages that much to the point where you got to pretty much lock it up or lock it in this smart mailbox? You guys have to let me know in the comment section. Have you dealt with people stealing your packages? I've never dealt with it, thank God, and I'll knock on wood to hopefully I don't have to deal with it. But has anybody who's watching this, and leave it in the comment section or the chat, have you had to deal with somebody stealing your packages? It seems like that'll be an inconvenience to say the least, but it seems like this Texas man is trying to combat that. So let's kind of get back to the article here or the news story and see what he has invented. Let's go.
Porch pirates, people who steal from your porch what you've worked hard to pay for and have delivered. Security.org's annual report shows last year 58 million packages pilfered, valued at over $12 billion.
58 million? Well, it's definitely a need for it, it sounds like. It is definitely a need. 58 million packages. What do you say, valued at a few $1 billion? That's crazy, man. I didn't know that was that many YNs out here.
If somebody takes anything from your porch, then they
This
may
is the
not
inventor right
go
here,
to
Richard
jail
Prince.
because it's a misdemeanor. But if somebody touches a mailbox, I don't even think you got to explain to people. They automatically know it's a federal offense. So it's federally protected.
Richard Prince II has created a mailbox he says will...
You guys have to repeat what he said. He's saying that, hey, somebody can steal your package, and that's only a misdemeanor. And I'll tell you, man, these criminals a lot of times, even though they're stupid, they're smart at the same time. So they're like, even if I get caught stealing a package, that's a misdemeanor. I'm not going to get no jail time. Probably have to pay a fine and da-da-da-da-da. However, if you touch somebody's mailbox, felony, and that's your Mr. Postman. So he's building this mailbox so that people can put their packages in the mailbox. And as a result, and like I said, if somebody touched that mailbox, then the thief is not only going to have to pay a fine, but he's going to be on the hook for a felony, which is a little bit more at stake, it seems like. So shout out to Richard Prince. And I did try to reach out to Richard Prince. Let's kind of pull up this video to finish it. But I did reach out to Richard Prince to try to get him on the platform. So let's see if your boy answers.
Prevent porch pirates.
Video smart package pillar.
What is that?
That is the look of a normal mailbox that you would normally see in front of someone's home, where it looks like a brick mailbox, but inside encased is an area where the packages can be stored.
Here's how it works.
You have a normal door that you can open, that your mail goes there, but this raises. As this raises, this raises. So it frees up the space so you can drop the packages right directly inside. You do have a key to it. And this is stone that's on here.
With the press of a button, the mailbox's lid gracefully lifts. And
Prince created videos to show how it works that he took to the Las Vegas Consumer Electronics Show,
CES,
where innovations often become reality.
No more worries about theft or misplaced deliveries.
So let me ask you, the height and the width, it meets regulations. It's okay to have this in front of you.
I'm so glad you said that. That was my main focus, was making sure the height requirements and the measurements was correct.
Prince has been working on the world's first video smart mailbox more than a decade, finally obtaining a patent.
He got his patent.
It took 8 years.
That's a little long.
Trying to get where you need to be, Mr. Prince.
It ain't for the weak. It ain't for the weak.
Robert Prince II hoping it won't take that long to get to production. The mailbox that can keep porch pirates away.
You don't really see a lot of people going in actual people mailboxes. You see them going on their porches.
So it's an innovative idea. Now, he says for it to get from a prototype in his garage, Clarice, to out here, he needs an investor or he needs a partner. He says he hopes he can make that happen, and he hopes he can make that soon.
Man, shout out to Richard, man. Anytime somebody, especially within a black delegation, is doing something great like this, man, I always got the utmost respect to him. I tell you what, man, as a patent attorney who's been doing this for 10 plus years, 8 years is a crazy long time. Typically, patents will do 2 to 3 years. Sometimes they stretch 4 years. If you had to go RCE, maybe appeal it. But to double that, to say it took him 8 years to get a patent, man, that's a long time, but he got it. So that's perseverance kind of paid off in his case. Seems like your boy definitely want to get a partner because he said he's been working on this thing for a decade, so 10 years, and that's just for a prototype. So, to try to get it to production, like I said, hopefully he gets some money behind him. I'm hoping that he replies so I can get him on the platform so we can kind of go through his story. But shout out to your boy Richard Prince, fitting name, for his innovative mailbox, his patented mailbox, I should say. So shouts out to him for that as we kind of move on to the next subject. Now your boy, Mr. Beast, we're going to pull him up. Seems like he's at odds with one of the behemoths known as Spalding. So we're going to go up here, see if I got the Beast Balls. As I was looking at that, I'm like, man, Beast Balls sound crazy. But whatever. So Mr. Beast was sued by Spalding over his basketball mark of the beast. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section or in the chat, do you guys think this is trademark infringement? So this is Spalding ball, and Spalding has a trademark on the term the beast. So you see Spalding ball that has the beast inscribed on it. And this is the famous YouTuber, Mr. Beast ball, his basketball, and it's called Beast. So you guys have to let me know in the comments, do you guys think that this is trademark infringement? Those of you who don't know, trademark infringement is if it's a likelihood of confusion. So if you will look at this Mr. Beast ball and think somehow this is associated with Spalding based on a trademark term, which is in this case is Beast, then it's trademark infringement. If it's not, then it's not trademark infringement. Let me know what you guys think in the chat on whether or not Spalding's ball with their trademark term, the Beast, is confusingly similar. Is the Beast, Mr. Beast ball, I mean, the YouTuber is Mr. Beast, his basketball that has Beast on it is confusingly similar to Spalding's ball that has the Beast on it. Let me know in the comments or in the chat section. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. I think this is trademark infringement all day. So much so that it seems like, as you read the article, and I did maybe a more full breakdown, this is just kind of a weekly recap, but it seems like Mr. Beast, his legal team, they had taken it down or stopped selling the balls after Spalding sent them a cease and desist letter. But what happened was they still had the balls up. So they weren't selling the balls. They took them down based on the cease and desist letter that was sent by Spalding. However, they still had them up on the website. You couldn't purchase it, but it was still up. And it seems like Spalding didn't like that. So it ultimately hit Mr. Beast with a lawsuit, with a trademark lawsuit. So yeah, man, this trademark stuff is important. It is protectable. It is valuable. And whether or not you are a Joe Blow who don't nobody know, or you a famous YouTuber that has 400 plus million subscribers on YouTube, hey man, everybody got to be, follow the law. So yeah, Mr. Beast was sued. It seems like his legal team is trying to comply with, Spalding and try to kind of get this thing rectified or taken care of. However, they were doing it a little slower than what Spalding wanted. So I did just kind of want to hit on that quickly. So again, go check out that full video if you are interested in it as we kind of move along here. In the next subject, your boy Lee. So the lead attorney, man, the lead attorney, he's a cool guy. So this is an actual family law attorney who's on YouTube. He's actually a pretty big YouTuber, man. He has, what I think, over 500,000 subscribers. And he actually commented under the video. So man, I appreciate Lee for commenting under the video. But he was talking about how AI and deep fakes, they're going to ultimately replace content creation. Now, I had some thoughts about that, but I did want to at least kind of play his video on what he said, and then I'll give you guys my kind of thoughts. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat as we go along this video. Let me make sure that this thing is on normal speed. Yes, it is. Let's go.
Somebody write Don Vicente in the chat and see, this is what I was talking about with the economy. Oh, and the AI too. I remember 2 years ago, they were telling all y'all to go to tech boot camps. Who remember, coding boot camps 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Who remembers those coding boot camps? All of y'all tech people, this AI is coming. You know what? I told somebody the other day, I think I got about two good years left on this thing.
2 years on YouTube.
A lot of y'all don't really know. Y'all don't really care. Y'all watch this for entertainment, but YouTubers, we all talk. And AI is coming for our heads. I've seen people make videos of me, and they sound just like me, and it ain't me. And in 2 years, guys, someone is going to be able to make a video of me that's going to last 30 minutes. It's going to look just like me. It's going to sound just like me. but it's going to be more intelligent than me, and it's going to be funnier than me, and more
Lead is
entertaining.
funny though. He's definitely funny.
While it looks just like me and sounds like me. They're just going to download all my videos and put it right into the damn AI, know all my voice inflections, know all the words I use, my intonation.
So, I mean, I'm going to stop it right there and kind of give you guys my thoughts. I actually disagree with the lead attorney on this one. He actually, man, he was gracious about it, man. He commented under the video, salute to EIP. So I appreciate Lee for that. And this is why I think that the government will, not only the government, but the intellectual property laws will protect content creators. I think I did a story maybe a couple months ago in Denmark. They gave their citizens not only copyrights over their kind of themselves, but also over their voices. Now in the U.S., a lot of people don't know NIL. We have name, image, and likeness. And a lot of times people think that that only applies to celebrities as well as athletes. Especially these days, you hear NIL thrown around with regard to college athletes, high school athletes, things of that sort. However, everyday people such as you and me, we are protected by name, image, and likeness rules. People just can't go around using our name, image, and likeness without our permission. So again, one of the things the examples that I use when you go to high school or any school, and for that matter, college, middle school, whatever the case may be, you got to sign a lot of paperwork. And one of those things that you're giving the school permission is to use your pictures and things like that in their promotional materials for the school or for the institution. Again, that's because they know that they can't do that without your permission. Now, you're not kind of reading the fine print to understand that's what it is that you are signing over. However, that just kind of illustrates the fact that we have protections as citizens, content creators, as well as citizens here in the U.S., name, image, and likeness that kind of prevent somebody trying to profit off of our NIL. And I do think kind of over time, the U.S. will, maybe look to even give people, protect their voices. Now, currently, protect your voice in the U.S., it has to be distinct. So that really only applies to like celebrities or really entertainers, I would say, musicians, things of that sort. But I can see at some point the U.S. kind of doing what Denmark did over there in Europe to say, hey, we're going to give you guys protection over your voice so that to the extent that somebody's trying to use AI videos and stuff like that, that has your NIL, that has your voice, you can go after them and disgorge or get the profits from them. So I disagree with Lee that AI is going to essentially come for all the content creators. But again, that's his take. This is my opinion. Time will only tell. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section or in the chat with regard to content creation kind of coming for everybody. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think YouTube is going to let that happen because I think that kind of messes with YouTube pockets to be able to do that. So that's my thoughts. Let's go on to the next subject. We had a hoax this week. Now, anyone who's been living under a bridge, it was a Detroit rapper. The boy name is Big Huey. It seems like he did a hoax that pretty much said Tesla had deactivated his Cybertruck and sent him a cease and desist letter. I did the video. I did a reaction video. That reaction video got a lot of views. It was a lot of people saying, hey, this is a hoax. This is fake. And if there's one thing, man, this is one thing that frustrates me. Look, in law school, the law students learn by what is called hypotheticals. So to the extent that people think that it's fake, and I'm not sure, maybe it's fake, maybe it's not. And as I said on all the comments that said, hey, this is fake, I said, look, the information still applies. In law school, we did these things called hypotheticals. The exam was hypotheticals. In the class, we sat in a class of 100 people, and the professor would give us hypotheticals, and then we would have to answer that question. If this happened, then what? So to the extent that people think it's fake, and I'm not sure, just use this video as a hypothetical, or use my reaction video and go check out the reaction video. I think it's almost at 2,000 views. Just use that reaction video as a hypothetical. So just kind of give you guys the breakdown. It seems like Big Huey, again, a Detroit rapper, he has actually a song called Cybertruck. And it's a pretty cool song, or pretty, I guess, catchy song, I should say. He kind of talked about how Tesla deactivated it on the side of the road, then ultimately sent him a cease and desist letter saying, hey, you are infringing our IP. You are kind of, with your song called Cybertruck, your use of the word Cybertruck in your song, please remove that. It was actually done up pretty well. Let me see if I can kind of pull it up. So this is what Big Huey kind of was saying was the Tesla Cybertruck being deactivated. This picture to the left is a screen of the Cybertruck, and then left to the right here, this was a cease and desist letter that I guess Big Huey claimed that Tesla sent to him. You see, dear Mr. Huey, I tell you what, man, if this is fake, and I understand for promotional material to promote the song, but sheesh, That's going through a lot of it. But again, you can see here, Tesla retains exclusive rights to register trademarks and trade dress, including Tesla, Tesla, Cybertruck, and all its associated name, logo, and imagery. And he's pretty much saying, hey, stop using, remove or revise all publicly distributed music, videos, and media that contain Cybertruck or deactivate thereof. And like, I don't know, you guys have to let me know, do you think this was real or do you think it was fake? My concern is not really with that. My concern is this, because a lot of people act like they read the service agreement between them and these electric vehicle manufacturers. I thought this was kind of scary because you have to read your service agreement. If these EV manufacturers can deactivate your electric vehicle because you're using their trademark term or doing something that they don't agree with, I think that's a big red flag. I'm not sure if Tesla or any other EV manufacturer have that in their service, those terms in their service agreement, but people should definitely read those. This is clearly not trademark infringement, which I explained in detail on the full reaction video. I definitely think at best is a parody, which allows you for it not to be a trademark infringement. But I do think that, again, man, he's not even using a song or Cybertruck, the term Cybertruck, as a brand. So I don't think that this is a trademark infringement. Everybody commented under that video that it was fake, that it was hoax. And I don't really care if it is, but the what's name still applies. The information still applies. So go check out that video that I did on that and kind of let me know your guys' thoughts. Let's see what Brandon says. Brandon says content creation is not over. So this is with regard to the last thing that we did with regard to the lead attorney. He says content creation is not over, but it does make it harder for people to know what's real and what is fake. And I would agree with you on that, Brandon. And I think that, man, we have to understand that we have tools at our disposal to go after these people. We can send a cease and desist letter if they're using our NIL to kind of get profits or make money without our permission. You have the right to go after somebody with that. And I don't know. I think people need to start looking at that a little more. So I agree with you. I don't think content creation is over. I think that, especially for the probably not the Mr. Beasts of the world, but the more popular content creators, it is going to be people trying to kind of profit off of their name, image, and likeness, off their voices, whatever the case may be. You got to stand up for yourself. I think Anton Daniels, which is a popular YouTuber here in Detroit, Michigan, he kind of talked about how he has his attorneys working on some stuff with people trying to kind of take his image, his voice, and essentially create videos from it. So we do have things that kind of protect us as content creators. And all I'm saying is to the content creators, make sure you are using the tools available at your disposal. I think that content creation, you definitely going to have to come with the information and come with the entertainment aspect of it to kind of break through. But to the extent that you have broken through and somebody's trying to copy you using this animated version of you, hey, you need to know that you can sue them for NIL infringement or any type of intellectual property infringement at your disposal. So that's kind of my take on it. I agree with Brandon that it is content creation is not over, but it's going to, hey man, it's getting scary out here. And that's not even just for content creation. I think, and this is one of the reasons why I want people to create products, create services, create businesses, because AI is taking over everything. But now you can create a product, and trust me, I got 2 products that's going to come out at the end of this year. And I'm not only going to be an IP practitioner, but I am also going to show you guys that you can create a business. You can leverage AI to help you run a business lean. You can make a ton of money. My goal is to come up with these. I got a number of products, but with these 2, I'm trying to make $1 million each with each product. So again, and I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes on my Patreon, the day in and day out, the ups and the downs that I have to go through, the trade shows. Hey, your boy may be on Shark Tank one of these episodes, so you never know. But I am not only just kind of talking the talk with regard to IP practitioner and protecting your IP, but also I'm coming out with products and showing you that, hey, anybody can do it. So kind of stay tuned for more on that as we go off to the next subject. And this is I think we have the lawsuits of the week. We got 2 lawsuits this time. They are pretty quick, so we're gonna do 2 of them. The first one is, hey, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Universities are clashing. Baylor University down in, I think, Waco, Texas, and then Boston University, which is the red mark up in Boston University, Massachusetts. They are kind of essentially suing each other or going back and forth over the BU logo that is interlocking with each other. So let's kind of pull this up here really quickly. And we're going to go through it quickly, man. It's not that long, so it should not take. Let me see, which one is it, man? Which one is it? I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Let me tee it up for you guys. Here we go. So it's not that. So Baylor is suing Boston University for trademark infringement. Do I want to read this? I don't want to read that part of it. Let's go to the nature of the action. No, I want to read that. Let's go to the facts. Baylor and its interlocking BU mark. Baylor is a private Christian university and the oldest continually operating institution of higher education in the state of Texas. I did not know that. Wow. Baylor was originally chartered in 1845. Sheesh. By the Republic of Texas and later reincorporated under the laws of the state of Texas in 1886. So 41 years later, Baylor boasts an enrollment of over 20,000 undergraduate and graduate students and more than 160 living alumni. That's actually not that many alumni. I'm from the great state of, or I went to Michigan State University. Let me see how many alumni, not to get derailed from this thing. Michigan State University alumni. 160,000 is not that many, in my opinion. How many, I'm not going to do all that. Yeah, but 160,000 is not that many alumni. Baylor provides a wide curriculum of educational service through its colleges and schools at both the undergraduate and graduate levels. In addition to its academic excellence, Baylor is known for its leading athletics. I wouldn't say that. Since 2000, the Baylor Bears have won the NCAA Division I national titles in men and women's basketball, men's tennis, as well as many conference championships. Baylor teams compete nationally, and this is essentially the BU. The interlocking BU is one of the Baylor's most recognizable identity destinations for the university educational research and athletic offerings. So you see the BU that interlocks with each other. You see it on some clothing here. See, like this is a skirt, this is on a hoodie, and far left is on a t-shirt. As a result of Baylor's long and extensive use of the interlocking BU, Baylor has developed an enormous amount of goodwill, public recognition, and strong rights in those marks. And this just shows you the all the classes that they have it in for clothing. They have it for calendars, notebooks, decals, note cards, which is class 16. They have it in bags, which is class 18, cups, which is class 21. Other things, 24, 41. I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's go to Boston University's. I'm not sure what's going on here. Why did it just cut out on me like that? Let's see here, man. Let's pull it back up. I don't know why it cut out on me like that. So defendant is an institution of higher education based in Boston. So while Boston initials are BU, Boston has primarily and historically used stylized marks that display the letter side by side. And Baylor does not object to this use. So it seems like what Baylor is saying is, hey, we have the interlocking BU. Boston University has always used their BU side by side, which we're cool with. As discussed herein, Boston recently commenced use of an interlocking BU design that is essentially identical to Baylor's registered interlocking BU. So essentially, the BU that's on my screen here to the right, that's from Boston University that they recently started using. So let's see what they're talking about. In 1987, Baylor applied to register the interlocking BU in class 25. Boston opposed the application. The school subsequently entered into a coexistence agreement in 1988 relating to their respective uses of BU. Now, I'm not sure if you guys kind of peep what they're saying is, and I'm going to kind of break this down to you. I really should have 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to break this down to you. So Baylor was trying to, and the attorney for Baylor just tried to kind of skim through that, but your boy got that good eye. So Baylor, they were looking to register their interlocking BU, which you see to the left, in 87. However, Boston University opposed that. Now, I will tell you, to oppose a mark, typically you have to have a trademark for that mark. You typically don't see people opposing marks, and that still happens today. If a trademark, typically once a trademark, the USPTO says a trademark is allowed, then it goes to a 30-day opposition period where they give it to the public. They allow anyone from the public to oppose a mark over a 30-day time period. And typically people who have registered trademarks, who they think their mark, that the mark who is publicly available is confusingly similar, they can oppose that mark before it actually issues. So it seems like this lawsuit is saying Boston University opposed the Baylor mark. Well, if they oppose the mark, that typically means that, number one, they have a trademark for it. So that I think that's interesting. That was glossed over by the Baylor's attorney. But then part two, they entered into a coexistence agreement. And what a coexistence agreement is in trademark law, that's pretty much saying, hey, both sides are agreeing that they can use the mark for specific use without it being confusingly similar. The USPTO may say, hey, you can't use this mark company X because it's confusingly similar to the mark of Y. But the company Y can enter into a coexistence agreement with company X and say, hey, we're giving you permission to use that mark. So Baylor's attorneys is saying, hey, they entered into a coexistence agreement, Baylor and Boston, the following year that's giving both companies permission to use the mark. But that tells me that Boston University has some type of trademarks in there before Baylor registered it. That's how I look at that. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys as I kind of pull back up the lawsuit. But let me know if that makes sense to you guys, because I do want you guys to get some information from the actual lawsuit. So the agreement acknowledges that the parties must be able to coexist by using the letters BU for their respective universities, explaining use of a school's initials to refer to the school is commonplace, and it would greatly harm Boston University and Baylor if they were prohibited from using a BU in connection with the service. So it seemed like the coexistence agreement allowed both schools, Baylor and Boston, to use the BU. It seems like what paragraph 20 is talking about. Let's go to paragraph 21. So Boston University has primarily used initials BU side by side on a horizontal plane for many years. Baylor does not object. So they cool with the side-by-side used by Boston University. The agreement reflects that the parties' agreement to coexist with the initials BU and created no rights of use of the identical interlocking BU stylized mark for Boston. So it seems like the coexistence agreement between the two parties did not give Boston University, at least according to Baylor, did not give Boston University the right to use the BU interlocking trademark. Baylor, or Boston rather, subsequently withdrew its opposition to Baylor's application for the interlocking BU and then proceeded was dismissed with prejudice. Okay, whatever. Baylor then became aware of Boston University's use of an essential identical and or confusingly similar interlocking BU in connection with the promotion and the sales of 3 hat styles. When Boston U's later appeared to be expanding, Baylor communicated, hold on, Boston. Y'all going too far with this. However, Boston did not cease use of its interlocking BU mark after Baylor objection. So it seemed like it was some type of cease and desist letter sent by Baylor University to Boston, and this is Boston's use. You see the BU there on the shirt. See the BU on the hat. I'm not sure if this is a drawer or some type of shelf or storage compartment. Down to the left, you have a BU from Boston University on what looks to be a sweater on a water bottle. So they're using this BU interlocking all over the place. Boston is. Indeed, Boston now uses the interlocking BU in connection with the, hey, look, they got these boys on the club sports team on sales. Yeah, Boston, they went all out. They went all out. This seems to be the website. And Mule Sports, just take me back to my days at Michigan State. So this is the BU that, the primary marks, the BU side by side is what Baylor was okay with. But these BU interlocking down below, Baylor has an issue with. So Boston interlocking BU mark is essentially identical to Baylor's, and that's why you have this trademark infringement lawsuit. See here, let me get to some good stuff. Baylor has notified Boston of its trademark rights and has attempted to resolve this dispute prior to filing his lawsuit. Indeed, Baylor has made clear that, consistent with the parties' 1988 agreement, its objection is not to defend its use of BU alone, but rather defend its use of interlocking BU design. However, Boston has refused to cease and desist. I want to read this part of it. So I'm not going to read count 1, but I will finish off with the effects of defendant activities. Boston's unauthorized use of the interlocking BU mark is likely to cause consumer confusion. Boston's unauthorized use of interlocking BU mark falsely designates the origin of Boston's goods and services and falsely suggests a connection with Baylor. So they pretty much saying, hey, man, this is confusingly similar and this is throwing off. You essentially coming into our territory and confusing our peoples. Unless these acts of Boston University are restrained by this court, they will continue. So what do you guys think? Now, this is interesting. Why do you think Boston just kind of flipped the script? It seems like based on this coexistence agreement, Baylor and Boston were in agreement to both using the BU marks. And of that agreement, it seems like Boston's BU mark was side by side, not the interlocking. Seems like over the last 5 or 6 years, 7 years, for whatever reason, Boston started using this interlocking BU mark. even though the coexistence agreement did not give them rights to do so. Now, maybe the coexistence agreement and this one of these things, that agreement is not made publicly available. Maybe it is publicly available, and I should have kind of brought it up. However, it seems like, according to Baylor, that coexistence agreement did not give Boston University the right to use the interlocking design. But here's the thing: they didn't say that Boston University can't use it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to say that, hey, we both can use the BU mark, but it's one thing to say that, hey, you can't use the BU mark Boston University that's interlocking. You see what I'm saying? So I should have probably pulled that up. I did not pull it up. My bad on that, as I'm kind of thinking in real time. There definitely is a coexistence agreement, but does that coexistence agreement prohibit Boston University from using interlocking BU, or does it say, hey, both parties can use the BU marks? That's essentially I'm assuming that Boston is like, hey, this agreement is saying that's what attorneys from Boston University will argue, that the coexistence agreement is saying, hey, we both can use it. It does not prohibit Boston University from using the interlocking BU. And Baylor University is going to say, hey, the agreement is pretty much prohibiting Boston University from using a BU interlocking. So that's essentially what the issue is between Boston University and Baylor. I kind of bring you guys the latest and greatest on that one. I'll tell you what, man, you get a tongue-tied saying Baylor and Boston for 20 minutes. I was going to go through this daycare one, and I think I'm going to go through it here really quickly because it is kind of, I think, important. So the last lawsuit that I want to break down, and we did a couple lawsuits back-to-back weeks. We did 2 lawsuit breakdown, but daycare, it seems like we have a daycare class in the state of New York. So let me see if I can share my screen and pull up this lawsuit. I'm going to go through this one really quickly. I don't think this is that long, so it shouldn't take long, but I'm going to just kind of get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to skip all the pleasantries on this one. Oh, shit. Tell you, man. Please hit that like button for the algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button as I'm pulling this up. And here we go. So this is Jennifer Walter doing business as Kids Being Kids Daycare. And it seems like it's another Kids Being Kids Daycare that just recently opened up in the state of New York. And again, this is the reason for these trademark lawsuits, or this is important from trademarks. You guys have to, number one, file for a trademark protection. Then number two, to the extent that you're about to start using a trademark or a term or a mark or a phrase, you probably want to do a search to make sure that that mark is not already trademarked. And to the extent it is, you probably don't want to use it, because if you do, you are going to get sued for trademark infringement. So that's kind of my 2 cents as I kind of get to it. I'm going to kind of go down, skip the pleasantries, and we're going to get down to the facts. On or about April of 2006, a plaintiff began to operate a daycare service located in New York under the term Kids Being Kids. And the plaintiff has continuously to use the Kids Being Kids mark in connection with this service. Hey, man, if you got a daycare that's been in 19 years, been in existence for 19 years, because these kids getting bad and bad by the year. So if you've been doing this for 19 years, you deserve a round of applause, in my opinion. I would imagine that the kids in 2006 is different from the kids in 2025. So on September, let me see if I can blow this up here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this that good. So I'm gonna blow it up a little bit more. So on September of 2024, plaintiff registered the service marked Kids Being Kids Daycare, and that register was on. Why did she just see? This is what I don't like, and this is the reason why I wanted to talk about this one. If you started a daycare in 2006, April of 2006, you just register your mark in 2024. That's the only bad thing I would say about the plaintiff in this case. And I think the plaintiff is who? Jennifer Walter. This is the only thing that I don't like about this. Why wait 18 years before you decide to get a trademark on your term? You've been using it since day one. Why not get a trademark? I understand if you don't want to get it at the beginning. Maybe you get it in 2008. Maybe you get it in 2010. But it should be under no circumstance that you wait 18 years before you file for a trademark on your business or on your term. That's crazy to me. So per the certificate of service mark registration, plaintiff has used the Kids Being Kids mark in commerce since at least 2006. Jennifer Kids Being Kids mark consists of the words Kids Being Kids Daycare. Okay. Jennifer is the lawful owner of the right, so forth and so on. The Kids Being Kids mark has been used and is still being used extensively by Jennifer. So the defendant currently do not have a license nor any other form of authorization from Jennifer to use the Kids Being Kids mark. Jennifer has spent and continue to spend large sums of money in the promotion, advertising, and the sales of his service under the Kids Being Kids mark. And by reason of such advertising and the high quality of his services, carrying such services, Jennifer enjoys a valuable goodwill, so forth and so on. So defendant, Kids Being Kids, and I do want to say this, just because you have an LLC called Kids Being Kids Daycare LLC, a LLC is not the same as a trademark. So I don't care the fact that she used her LLC is called Kids Being Kids, but if you are promoting the name of the daycare, Kids Being Kids, is that being used on promotional or advertising materials? That is an issue. So it seems like she had the defendant Kids Being Kids LLC was formed in the state of New York in 2023. So she just recently formed this a couple years ago. As such, Jennifer's use of the Kids Being Kid mark predates the existence of defendants by over 17 years. I would agree with that. So, and this is what I do want to say about this. So it seems like Jennifer just got she registered her mark in 2024. This is why this is such a big deal. If the defendant, because the defendant opened up in 2023, mind you. Now, Jennifer, she opened up her daycare services in 2006. You guys have to follow me. Let me know in the comments if you're following this timeline. Jennifer, the plaintiff, opened up her daycare in 2006. She didn't file for trademark protection until 2024. The defendant opened up her daycare in 2023. If the defendant would have filed for trademark protection on the term Kids Being Kids in 2023, once she opened her daycare, Jennifer would have been SOL. And this is the reason, please listen to me. This is the reason why you need to try to scrape up $1,000 to get that trademark file soon as you open up the business. Because Jennifer, she could have been using this thing for 19 years. And if this person, Kids Being Kids Daycare, would have filed for that trademark, the defendant, if she would have filed for that trademark in 2023 once she opened, Jennifer would have been SOL. Now, she would have still been able to use it. Thankfully, and I'm not, hopefully my thing went on mute for too long, but thankfully the defendant did not file for a trademark when she opened. However, if she would have filed for that trademark in 2023, Jennifer would have been screwed. Now, she was using it in Yonkers, or in Jersey, or in other states. So this is the importance of filing a trademark sooner rather than later. Let's get back to it. I got a little amped up there, man. So where do we leave off at? The kids behind still being extensive use. Defendant currently do not have license or 23, we talked about that. This seems to be the defendant has offered daycare services to its consumers under the name Kids Being Kids Daycare, which obviously is identical to Jennifer's. She's seems like the defendant is using it in South Glens Falls, New York. Seems like that's something from her Facebook page or the website. Upon information to believe, defendant advertises his Kids Being Kids Daycare services through social media and local. So it seems like she don't have a website. Maybe she does. This has a website in blue for you to select. The defendants used Kids Being Kids in connection with the child care services, confusingly similar, whatever. On September 11th, 2024, seems like Jennifer sent a cease and desist letter to the defendant. Seems like the defendant responded to it, so at least she didn't blow it off. Defendant responded. After a response from the defendant, plaintiff restated his demand to the defendant in a letter dated November 6th. So it seems like, at least according to the defendant, they responded, but they said they're going to keep using it. As of the date of the filing of this complaint, defendant has failed to cease and desist. Due to the defendant's knowledge of plaintiff's Kids Being Kids mark, defendant has had and continues to have bad faith intent to profit commercially from Kids Being Kids mark, causing harm to plaintiff businesses. So again, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of in and out with that one, do pretty quickly. kind of hit you guys pretty quickly on that. But thank God that the defendant did not file for a trademark when she kind of used the mark. I mean, when she opened business in 2023, because if she did, Jennifer would have been SOL. And people are going to do this, man. This is just the name of the game. Jennifer, obviously, she's been doing this since 2006. So for 18, 19 years. And it seems like, if I had to guess, the defendant, when they opened that their daycare, they essentially tried to trade off the goodwill of Jennifer. Clearly, it did not work in this case, but this could have turned out bad if Jennifer or if the defendant would have trademarked the term kids being kids, with the USPTO. So that is kind of my thoughts on that. It seems like Jennifer has some state law claims. If you go through all the counts here, which I don't have it up in what's the name anymore, but it was a whole lot of state law claims. I do want to say that you can get trademark not only at the federal level, but at the state level. However, I always recommend you guys to get it at the federal level just because the courts in the states are not equipped to deal with trademark infringement issues. That's why she's filing this in federal court, even though she has trademark. She has a lot of trademark counts on here, as well as she has a trademark at the state level. The states are not. They're just not built or equipped to deal with trademark infringement lawsuits. I actually have a cousin who kind of does, some civil stuff, and he was doing a trademark infringement lawsuit in the state of Michigan. It was a shit show, to be honest with you. And he told me it was a shit show. If I'm gonna get two phones, I should have called him up, or I should have told him to stream in to kind of let me know how his trademark infringement lawsuit was in the state of Michigan. It was in Lansing. He was calling me for advice on trademark infringement issues at the state level, just because they're not equipped to deal with infringement issues, trademark infringement issues at the state level, because it doesn't come up often. Yeah, you can get a trademark at the state level. However, courts, judges are not equipped to deal with an infringement to the extent that you try to sue somebody for trademark infringement on a state level. So always get it at the federal level with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And to the extent that you have to sue somebody for trademark infringement, you're going to be suing them in federal court. Don't mess with the state court stuff. So those are my thoughts. Seems like we have a comment before we get up out of here. Please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. What does Brandon say? It's so important to get that trademark. Again, I get it. And I do want to leave Brandon's what he's talking about up, because he's so right. You're going to start a business, and I want you guys to push to get your businesses set up, sell a product, sell a service, whatever the case may be. You may not have something that's patentable. You may not have something that, from a copyright standpoint, that's going to be a big thing, but you are 9 times out of 10 going to have the business itself, the name, the name of the different products, the name of the different services. You're going to have a plethora of trademarks that is going to help you build that brand recognition of your product. So make sure you are protecting your trademarks, whether it's a logo, whether it's a phrase, or whether it is a word, because it is important. What else does Brandon? Oh no, Mr. Leisure. How much are trademarks for a tagline or a slogan? That's a good question, Mr. Leisure. Trademarks typically are, and again, I'm glad you asked this question, because if somebody is charge you thousands of dollars for a trademark, I would run. So this is how I like to do my trademark costs. You got your USPTO fee, you have your attorney costs. Your USPTO fee, which is United States Patent and Trademark Office, you can't file one trademark application and get it protected in everything under the sun. You have to let the USPTO know what class you are filing your marks in. If you're selling clothes, you're going to get it protected in class 25. If you're starting a podcast, entertainment services, you're going to get it protected in class 41. If you're doing bags, I think that was class 14. You got to let the USPTO know what class you're looking to protect your mark in. And for one application, for one trademark application in one class, the USPTO fee is going to be $350. I typically charge $650. So total, it's going to be $1,000 to file one trademark application in one class. Now that's, again, they may differ by $100 or so from attorney to attorney, but that's what you probably should be banking on spending. Now, if you are filing in multiple classes, that's the USPTO is going to charge you $350 per class. So if you have that same trademark, you want to file in 3 classes, USPTO is going to charge you $1,050. So it's going to be 1 mark in 3 classes. Now, attorney is probably going to kind of add a little bit more. Now, it shouldn't be 3 times the cost, but they're most likely going to add a little bit more to the cost because they have to file the trademark application in multiple classes. So again, you got the USPTO fee as well as the attorney fee. Hopefully that answered the question. And a tagline for a slow. And again, it's the same thing, whether it's a word mark, whether it's a logo, whether it's a tagline like "just do it" or whatever the case may be. It's all the same thing. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, yeah, it seems like he no problem. No problem, Mr. Lee. Hey man, these are good questions. Like I said, people, again, attorneys are hard to get off. They hard to get a hold of. IP attorneys are even more hard to get a hold of. So I'm kind of doing these lives every Sunday at 7 o'clock, not only to go through these kind of IP stories in the news or IP events in the news and interviews and infringements and stuff like that, but I do want to answer you guys' questions. So, and again, I'm answering this question, providing you guys information on IP for free, which the billing rate is almost $400. So somebody was calling, try to get this information out of me. They either have to go through my old videos or they have to call and essentially pay the hourly fee. But I do try to answer the questions, whether it's patents, whether it's trademarks, whether it's copyrights, whether it's trade secrets. I try to answer these questions for free on this live. So you are welcome, Mr. Leisure. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button to be subscribed to the channel. And we went over a lot for you guys today. So again, definitely you guys may want to kind of go look back to the extent that you came in late. We talked about a lot. I always want to encourage you guys to protect your intellectual property, whether it's a trademark, copyrights, patents, or trade secrets. A lot of people don't know for a trade secret, you can still protect that even though you're not filing anything with the government body as you are with those other 3 forms of intellectual property. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'll catch you guys next week, same time, 7 p.m. Your boy about to go have a cigar and probably watch a little bit of the football game. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys next. Peace.